Imagine a bustling marketplace in the 5th century. The air is thick with the scent of raw cardamom and black pepper, and a local merchant casually trades a sack of these spices for a heavy, shimmering gold coin. This was a common transaction in the Indian subcontinent between the 3rd and 6th century CE. It is a period historians often identify as a golden age of stability and cultural growth. In the ancient world, maintaining an empire of this scale usually required a massive standing military. Most rulers spent their fortunes on constant warfare just to suppress internal rebellions or guard against collapse. The Gupta dynasty followed a different pattern. When the Chinese monk Faxian traveled through the region, he noted that the people were prosperous. The markets were supplied with goods of various kinds, and the state relied on gold coins, or dinars, to fuel a sophisticated economy. This raises a specific question. How did the Gupta emperors maintain a territory this large and wealthy for centuries without the constant, bankrupting friction of civil unrest and military overreach? At the top of the system sat the imperial court, where the emperor held supreme authority over matters of war, diplomacy, and the highest levels of justice. But the key to their long-term stability lay in what the emperors chose not to control. Instead of micromanaging every village from the capital, they delegated the daily mechanics of government. The empire was divided into large provinces called buktis, managed by regional officers known as uparikas. These provinces were further partitioned into local districts known as vishyas, overseen by officials called vishayapatis. At the most local level, village assemblies and trade guilds managed their own affairs. This meant that the people who best understood the local economy and social needs were the ones actually making the rules. By letting local communities handle their own taxes and disputes, the empire reduced the typical friction between the central government and its subjects. When people feel their local customs and leadership are respected, the internal pressures that usually lead to rebellion are significantly lowered. This decentralized approach provided the consistent political stability required for the empire's economic systems to grow without interruption. With a stable internal environment, the state could invest heavily in agriculture. Rulers issued land grants and funded irrigation projects, like canals and tanks, to maximize the output of the Middle Gangetic Basin. This surplus of food allowed a larger portion of the population to move away from farming and specialize. Artisans began producing high-quality metalwork, pottery, and fine textiles that were in high demand far beyond India's borders. Trade guilds became the organizers of this commerce, managing the production of local artisans and ensuring that goods met the standards of international markets. The Guptas maximized production by securing western coastal ports like Bharuch and Sopara, giving direct access to lucrative Indian Ocean trade routes. From these ports, Indian textiles, spices, ivory, and pearls were shipped to the Mediterranean markets of Rome, China, and Southeast Asia. These foreign powers paid for Indian luxury goods in gold, creating a massive influx of precious metal that circulated back into the Gupta economy. The wealth of this era followed a clear logic. Internal stability created a surplus of goods, and controlled trade routes turned those goods into a steady accumulation of gold. This economic surplus allowed the Gupta court to act as a major patron of the arts and sciences, funding a period of intellectual growth that continues to influence India today. In this environment, scholars like Aryabhata were able to formalize the concept of zero and propose that the Earth rotates on its own axis, ideas that were centuries ahead of their time. This prosperity fueled an artistic peak, seen in the masterful paintings of the Ajanta caves, setting new aesthetic standards across the continent. The technological skill of the era is perhaps best seen in the Iron Pillar of Delhi. Despite standing in the open air for over 1,600 years, it has remained largely free of corrosion, a testament to their advanced metallurgy. The successes of the Gupta period were built on this specific administrative model, one that balanced regional independence with the strategic pursuit of international trade. Because the Guptas interacted with merchants and scholars from Rome to China, how do you think these vast trade networks shaped the culture and ideas of the world they connected?